Over the summer, I built a clear roof above our back porch, and it totally transformed the space from this to this. It was one of my biggest and most impactful projects ever, but it has a problem, specifically a drainage problem, as in it has no drainage. I had a plan for that, but Mother Nature was not cooperating. See, I was hoping that if we extended the roof about 3 inches beyond the edge of the deck, the water would run off the roof, straight down to the ground, and then I could put some kind of drainage system in down here. But is that what's happening? No. The water's falling off the roof, and then the wind's blowing it right back into the deck, and it's defeating the whole purpose. So I have to come up with a gutter system. And of course, I can't just do any gutter system because a traditional gutter is big and ugly and white. And they make brown ones, but no thank you. My roof is sleek and stylish, and the gutter is going on the part of the roof that sticks out farthest into the yard. So it has to be sexy and cheap. I'm super cheap. And custom gutters are expensive. So as you probably guessed by now, I've decided to make my own. And I'm gonna do it using this. This is aluminum flashing, and when I'm done with it, it's going to look like this. And I'm going to try to break it along the entire run of 16 feet. Quick sidebar. What I'm talking about here is bending the aluminum flashing in half long ways, like the piece I'm holding in my hand, except much, much longer. Professionals would do this with what's called a brake. It's a device specifically designed to bend flashing, but they cost thousands of dollars to buy, and I could rent one, but they're usually only 10 feet long, and I'm trying to break 16 continuous feet. So I'm gonna DIY the crap out of this. In my mind, it seems pretty simple, but I've never done this before, so there's that. And then I've got to attach it, and I've been thinking a lot about what I'm gonna do to try to attach it to the roof, because usually when you put a prefabricated gutter up there, it has clips that are specifically made for it. You just attach it, and I don't have that. So I'm going to try using this. This is an aluminum post. I pre-drilled some holes just to test it. And it turns out that when you thread this thing on here, it stabilizes itself. The metal from the flashing actually bites into the post, and it doesn't move. That was about 100-mile-an-hour wind I just simulated, plus an earthquake, and it's fine. Well, that's pretty rough.
I had to hold back.
I bought a 50-foot by 8-inch roll of aluminum flashing, and then I marked lines along the flashing where I would drill the holes for those aluminum rods I just talked about. And these lines are sloped about 1.5 inches from left to right so the water can drain once it's in the gutter. And then I marked a center line where we're going to bend this thing in half. Here I'm making a gauge so that I can drill precise holes through the roof braces at exactly the same height. I'm specifically using oak because it's a hardwood, and that way the gauge won't get sloppy while I'm using it. We use this board as a template to transfer the post holes from the roof to the gutter. So I'm clamping it up here, and then we'll use the gauge I just made, there it is, and we'll drill holes all across the roof, and then we'll take the template down and we'll mark off those same holes on the gutter so that all the post holes match up exactly. I did another template on the other half of the roof, and I wasn't going to bother showing you, but then something pretty cool happened. Did you see it? So here I am taking the template off the roof and using it to mark those same holes on the flashing. First just using a nail, as my wife wins the Stand on Boards award for this project. And then I'm going to take a drill bit, and I'm going to drill a hole that's the exact size of those posts. And this way when the gutter is on there, the metal will bite, and the thing won't go anywhere. Here I'm marking a hole for where the drain is going to go, and then I'll cut it out so I can thread this 3/4 inch garden hose fitting into place. Then it was time to bend this thing, which turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. I used every clamp I had in the shop to attach the flashing to a couple of boards and try to use them like a brake. The problem was, 16 feet of aluminum provides a lot of resistance. It didn't want to bend with a nice crease, it just kind of rounded off at the bottom. So I thought I would speed things up by scoring the metal where I wanted it to bend. That was a mistake. I tried to bend it little bits at a time, but then this happened. It had snapped in several places, and I could tell more might break at any moment. So I started over. This time I built myself a flatter surface by nailing 20 feet of boards to the deck. I marked a center line like before, but this time I didn't bother marking anything else until I knew that this was going to work. I ripped down a board to exactly half the width of the flashing to make the bend nice and clean this time. And with all the clamps in place and my wife's muscles, we gave it another go. We took our time, and lo and behold, a nice little V started to form. With a couple pieces of scrap wood and a pair of C-clamps, I got the forearm workout of the year while I worked that metal into a nice 90-degree angle. And then we used the piece of flashing that we had broken as our template for the new version. I folded the ends into 90-degree corners and used a rivet gun to fasten them in place. I sealed off the seam with silicone. Next, I cut a bunch of aluminum posts that would attach the gutter to the roof. Then I drilled an itty-bitty hole in each post. I used that tiny hole to install a cotter pin, and then on top of the cotter pin I put a bracket, and those two together would basically lock the post in place and keep it from sliding around. Then I did the same thing, adding a post to each hole we drilled back at the beginning of the project. And all I had left to do was drill the corresponding holes in my new gutter, and then it was time to hang it up.
We worked into the night last night to finish the gutter, and I'm really glad we did because it's raining. And the gutter is working. If you look down here, we've got just a little bit of water on the edge, but before it would have blown like 4 or 5 feet into the deck here. It's pretty windy today, and we've hardly got any water blowing into the deck. We don't have that kind of waterfall dripping off the edge of the roof like we did before. So everything's working great. You can see we've got the gutter connected to a garden hose up here. You can see the roof just kind of ends in midair there. And anything we did, we were going to have to run it back to this post. And if we did a traditional downspout, it would just be a lot bigger, kind of in your face. The garden hose is a little bit lower profile. And you can see if you follow me around here, we were actually able to tuck it between the privacy wall and the post because we left that little gap there when we built the privacy wall. We've got it running all the way down. And then under here, we'll have it hidden underneath the deck. For now, we just got it draining out into the yard. But I've got a plan for that as well. It's time for phase 2.
All right, so we know that it works, but is it sexy?
Sexy.
Does this help? Obviously, I still have a lot of work left to do. Well, if you liked this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing because that really encourages me to keep making them. Of course, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to encourage this kind of behavior. Just wait till you see what I do with a rain barrel in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay.